Election Day 2020 is finally here. The focus of the attention today is on the race for the White House, but there are plenty of other key races here in South Florida.
Facing South Florida host Jim DeFede joins us live, and Jim, we'll get to some of those local races in a moment, but let's begin with the big one, the presidential election. So we saw a record turnout for early voting. So what does this tell you looking ahead to tonight, and do you think we will know tonight who actually won Florida? And of course, good morning.
Good morning. And yes, this is a big day. It's National Sandwich Day, actually. But look, turnout is the key that we're seeing right now. As you said, we're seeing record turnout, not just here in Florida, but across the country. Texas, Pennsylvania, lots of states are shattering old records. First thing that tells me is people are excited to vote. People want to express their opinion in this election. We should celebrate that. That's a good thing. As divided as we are as a country, as angry as we can be as a country, this is the way democracy is supposed to work. People turning out to vote. Now, what does this mean going forward for tonight, and will we know results tonight? I believe in Florida we will know, and we will know by 11 o'clock tonight who won the state of Florida. And I think there are lots of states where we're going to know. But there may be some states that are going to take longer to count. States like Pennsylvania and Michigan. Those are states that have rules that are not as good as the rules here in Florida. And by that I mean they don't even begin to open and count their ballots until Election Day. In Florida, for instance, those 9 million early and mail-in votes, they've already been processed through machines. They've already been counted, which is why we'll start getting returns by 8 p.m. 75% of the vote will be in by 8 p.m. and we'll know the results of that here in Florida. And that's going to give us a really good indication of what to look for.
A lot of eyes on Florida tonight, Jim. And in Miami-Dade County, one of the big races is who will be the next mayor of the county. How do you see this race playing out between Esteban Bovo and Daniela Levine Cava?
Again, this is supposed to be a nonpartisan race. Neither of these candidates has a D or an R next to their name, and yet they are both running as if they have D's and R's next to their name. Daniela Levine Cava is a Democrat who embraces her Democratic roots, her liberal tendencies, her willingness to sort of work with labor unions and a lot of other community organizations. You know, the Democratic Party in the state and in the county has gotten behind her. Esteban Bovo, Steve Bovo, both these people are county commissioners. Bovo, though, embracing the fact that he's a Republican, endorsed by Marco Rubio, tied to President Trump. He was at that late night rally. Look at that rally just the other night on Sunday night. That tells you everything you need to know about these two different people. Daniela Levine Cava criticizing the fact that rally violated the county's curfew, wanting to make sure that mask mandates are enforced. Steve Bovo went to the rally, was part of the group that actually violated the county's curfew. So that gives you a real sense of these two people. Now, Bovo, by attaching himself to Donald Trump, I think is at a bit of a disadvantage here. You know, Donald Trump will not win Florida, or rather, he will not win Miami-Dade County. Let me be clear about that. Won't win Dade County. Hillary Clinton won Dade County by 30 points last time around. You know, for Donald Trump, a win is if he only loses Dade County by 20 points. You know, that's great for Donald Trump, but it's still a loss in Miami-Dade County. So Esteban Bovo, Steve Bovo's got a real hill to climb here, not just convincing Trump voters to vote for him, but to try to lure other people over as well. This is an easier path for Daniela Levine Cava, but I know nobody's taking that race for granted.
No, they're not. And let's head over to Broward County now. The big race is who Broward County Sheriff. What do you see that race turning out to?
You know, we forget sometimes just how crazy that race and all the twists and turns that have taken place in that race. Obviously, you know, the sheriff, Gregory Tony, was appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. There were a lot of people who did not think that he could possibly win election when he finally had to stand up and run for the first time. They thought that having, you know, Governor DeSantis having appointed him would work against him. Then all of these revelations came out about Gregory Tony, including the fact that as a teenager he had shot and killed a man. That he says it was in self-defense. He said he was ultimately, not exonerated so much as he was never really truly found guilty of anything, that it was self-defense. There were other wild revelations involving him in a swingers club with his wife. I mean, it was a messy primary battle, but he won. And any Democrat who wins in Broward County is almost assured to win on Election Day because the county is so heavily Democratic. So you're going to see very strong likelihood of Sheriff Tony winning. But it's not just the sheriff. Let's keep in mind, Broward is about to do something historic. The three Democratic candidates for three key races there are all poised to win in the state attorney's race, in the public defender race, and in the sheriff race. And all three men are African American. That is something that you have never seen in Broward County. The three top jobs in law enforcement, the public defender, the state attorney, and the sheriff, all held by African American men. It's a very, very important moment in Broward County. So we'll see again. We'll be keeping an eye on those races.
Yeah, for sure, Jim. It's going to be a very long night. Are you ready for your all-nighter? How are you going to pull it off?
Well, we're just going to hunker down. Look, I get excited by nights like this. I think this is a great thing where we're going to see. Yeah. And I think we may very well know who the president is tonight, too. But if we don't, if we have to wait and count those votes, that's fine. Vote counting is good. Let me give you just one other statistic. I know the president has talked about wanting to end all vote counting at midnight. There are 108,000 ballots from Florida to military and overseas folks. They have an extra week to be able to turn in their ballots. They have to be postmarked by the 3rd, but you can't expect them to arrive in time. You can't disenfranchise people like that. And that's true across the country. In the United States, we count votes. That's an important part of our democracy. It always has been and always should be.
Your insight always so fascinating. Thank you.